Alright. Hello everyone, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. It's me, Generic Pie, with a video. This is a video of a game I played about a week ago against Drogo Apache from Italy. We had never played before. This is a base ladder game, and it's a good game. It's a funny one. So to give you a little bit of context to this game, over the past month or so, I've been introducing a friend to War of the Ring. So we've been playing over the board. So I went round to his, and we'd played like 2 games before. So he's very, very new to it. And rather than playing a game, he suggested, "Why don't you show me the client? And maybe you can play a game and I can watch." So don't worry, he wasn't giving me any tips. He's only played 2 games. He's still learning the cards and getting the hang of it. But it was quite an unusual situation, sitting there playing a game of War of the Ring while someone kind of watches, and you're kind of trying to entertain and educate them at the same time. And I think that's part of the reason this game is good, because I made some riskier plays than I would normally do, and probably some somewhat more. I mean, I probably make a good chunk of suboptimal plays in my average game that you may have noticed. But I think in this game, they may have been slightly more. So we'll see. It's been a week, so it's not super fresh in my mind, but I do recall it was a fun one. So let's dive into it. So I was playing as the Shadow, and Drogo Apache, who was a very gracious opponent, was playing as the Free People. And he or she started off with King Brand's men and challenged the king. And I started off with half orcs and goblin men and Wormtongue. Alright, so let's dive into it. So not a great start for the old Shadow there. So minimal, bit of army movement. We've got a single muster. I'm going to turn the sound down because that rolling is going to get really annoying. And a solid roll for the Free People. Not amazing, but you get the 2 movement. You can play cards with your Palantir, and in his case, he has what's arguably the best card to start with as the Free People, because buffs up these boys, and you get the double draw, and he gets Imrahil of Dalaran. So he's getting a really nice selection of mustering cards to start the game, which makes life difficult for the old Shadow. So I do a standard army move. He moves the Fellowship. I do hit, and I draw a 3, which is the worst tile to draw. So on the one hand, I hit, but it does mean he kills Gandhi and gets full value out of it, and can potentially get Gandalf the White next turn. So yeah, glorious start here for the Shadow. I do standard army movements here. I did consider moving. Generally, when I have minimal army movements, I like to be a bit more conservative and just move this army, and not in case I draw into one of the mustering cards next turn. And also, it gives me more information about where's going to be the best place to attack next turn as well. So he moves again, gets hit again, is revealed, decides to go this way. Wait, what happened there? Did he not get corrupted at all? What? 1 reveal, no casualties taken. Boy, oh boy. Let's hope that single bit of corruption doesn't have an effect on the game. Oh no, he just did it late. Okay. So I decided to move the Isengard to war, and yeah, with his final die, he decided to hide the Fellowship. So I think he had a muster there. So on the one hand, that could be a good opportunity to start getting the elves down. But at least this way you can move quickly next turn before I can get someone onto the Fellowship. So there's definitely a benefit to doing that. So I draw Candles of Corpses and Denethor's Folly, and he draws File and Path of the Woses. I put 1 eye in, and 2 eyes again go into the hunt, so we're getting a lot of eyes in the pool, so great rolls. He also gets a trash roll, so he gets an absolutely awful roll. So at least he's not going to be doing much, but he has got some quite useful cards to play. So it's not as painful for him. He gets File in the pool. I get Saruman. He gets Imrahil done, which again is handy. I decide to play half orcs and just get this army buffed up a little bit. He starts getting the elves down. I decide to go for the Woodland realm here. I think, what was my thinking there? I can't really remember. Maybe it was because it would force him to either get the elves down or move an army across here. So we'd have to pick one. But I wasn't thinking really straight because I realised that I hadn't got Sauron to war. So that was just me being just a bit of an oversight there. I think if I had been thinking straight, so this is again when you're kind of like someone's watching, you're not quite thinking as straight as you would normally. I think I would have just gone for Lorien. Yeah, I was getting into Mines. I thought I could get into Old Forest Road and get Sauron to war in the same turn. So I just miscounted my dice there. That was just a bit of a silly one. So then I draw the Palantir and Mustangs of a Long-Planned War. He draws Swords in Eriador and Ents. So finally I get a much more balanced roll this time, or at least a good offensive roll. Whereas he can now get the Gandyman, which is lovely. He does decide to pass, no need to rush, I suppose. And now I do something that I don't normally do. So this is what I think one of the reasons this game turns out to be an interesting one. Is I decide to, rather than doing the kind of classic either, going for, making it clear you're going for Minas Tirith or, or going up to here, I decide to take what I like to call the corridor of uncertainty. Because if you go this way, they don't know where you're going to go. You can go here, you can go here, you can go here, you can even go here. So let's just see where I decide to go. And at this point, I don't think I'd even decided myself. So he then gets Gandalf, as he would. I keep moving my dudes. So I think part of my thinking was I could have, I suppose, just charged into here and got these guys under wall. But as I got closer to here, seeing what he does with his dice, realizing he hasn't got any hybrid dice left, or never had any to begin with, he can't defend Helm's Deep without using a ring. So he moves the Fellowship, they're safe. I have a big think here, because there are benefits to both. If I go here, I can do it, or at least get close to doing the good old-fashioned Elven Pincery move. But if he uses that to get the elves down, then he's going to be able to muster one of these two strongholds next turn. So with that in mind, I just think, why not just have a bit of fun and just take down Helm's Deep, baby? So that's what I decide to do, and I put a little fellow on the Fellowship. I think I should have done that earlier. I think that was a bit of a mistake on my part. I think I should have prioritized getting him, maybe even getting a Nazgul on there, considering he has 2 eyes. Probably not a Nazgul, but at least getting this guy on here, because he's going into Moria. It could have really helped. So yeah, I think that was a slight misplay on my part. Now he gets, so that's one of the downsides. I have allowed him to get a scout. If I'd attacked that earlier, then that would not have been an issue. But anyway, so I go into Helm's Deep. Then he gets the north down, and I attack Helm's Deep. I decide to play a card. I wonder what I play. I wonder why I played a card here. I think I just wanted to make extra damn sure. And yes, so it did. I think it's partly because I only had the 2... yeah, so there's a couple of thoughts here. I only had the 2 leadership. I really didn't want to get into a situation where you're pushing your luck, you're having to downgrade. He then gets the Rohan to war. He's able to muster this. I need this army to be strong enough to take this down, and ideally then go and do something else. I don't want this to take up any time and waste dice, and also waste an elite. So yeah, so I decided to use a card. So yeah, taking down Helm's Deep on turn 2. So that's a nice little tasty treat for the Shadow. I then draw into the Shadow's moving. So I've got a Swarm Bats to cancel this Scouts, and I get a tile. He's going to be very overdrawn. So in this case, what do you get rid of? Probably get rid of one of the Sudden Strikes, one of these 2 cards, maybe even both. Let's see. No, so we got rid of the other one was Help Unlooked. So he got rid of a no quarter Help Unlooked for. I think in this instance, well, I suppose the Path of the Woes could come in useful as the Rohan are at war early. So that's could be activated. So I put the one eye in, roll another, get this one actually is a balanced roll apart from the lack of sea dice. He gets a very good fellowship movement-y roll if he decides to go that way. I then start mustering in, what do I do there? Oh, wait. Yeah, so he musters in Edoras. I then start mustering in Orthanc, so getting some big boys in Orthanc. I attack Fordsweisen from Orthanc, because I want to combine these armies, but I want to do it with a... because I need to kill this. I just need to get this off the map. But I also don't want to have too big an army so that I can't then combine with this army. So there's no point in over-mustering and getting a really strong load of elites, thinking, because I'm not going to be able to even join up with this army anyway, because I'll have too many dudes. So I tried to get the balance right. So I play Swarm of Bats again here, so then I can't play it up here, so maybe that was a misplay again. But anyway, it worked nicely. It does mean that I get a clean wipe out of that army. I leave just enough here to defend myself from Ents. He has 2 Ent cards. When I was doing this, I was thinking, he could have 1 Ent card, because he's seen, what, 4 character cards, but he's surely not going to have 2 Ent cards. That would be crazy. He does have 2 Ent cards. But he misses, and then he misses again. That is rough. So, I mean, on average, he should have taken, 50-50 chance to kill Saruman there. He doesn't even scratch the surface. Those Ents just trip over and drown. So yeah. Sorry, Ents. Did not do. Yeah, let's just say sorry, man, because that feels painful. That's really, really unlucky. Anyway, so I then combine these armies up because I know that I need to deal with Rohan ASAP. So now, because I was thinking he was mustering Rohan, and I was thinking, like, is that even worth mustering? Knowing the fact that this army is just going to wipe you out, and you're at best going to shrink this army. That's the best thing you can really do. But this is an interesting move. So it's basically free defense of Minas Tirith. And then you still have the whole Gondor force pool to use to defend. So I'm not sure if I would have done it, but it's a cool play. I mean, I'm not sure I've ever seen it done quite like this, just to defend. Certainly not this early in the game anyway. So he leaves 1 behind just to make me have to use an extra die to take that. I get the Witch King up here. He then moves the Fellowship. And he's safe. And I then play the Palantir of Orthanc. I was thinking about what else I could play. I could have got the Red Tile in, but yeah, I think it makes perfect sense to play Palantir. And hopefully I can at least, get a ring out of him or get a will out of him and just, make life awkward. Moves again. Hit. So 1 reveal. That's good. And then a 2. So, okay. So not the worst. He does picks at random, and I get Legolas, so balances out quite nicely. And then with my final die, I decide to just to get this done. Need to get it done. Takes it down, and I leave this army here because I'm probably not going to go down here anymore. This is quite ominous, the fact that this whole army is here, and I'm presumably going to move this army away. And this army could then come back in here. But then I suppose I could always muster again in Orthanc. We will see. But yeah, that's not... But then I suppose if he marches away, he's going to leave Minas Tirith empty anyway. So yeah, I wasn't overly worried about that. So I draw Lure of the Ring and Return of the Witch King. He draws Dana Its Guards and Axe and Bow. So that's nice to defend this, if he so desires. Axe and Bow is good to protect the Fellowship, so not bad. So I've been running pretty high on the old eyes so far. So 2+ on eyes, otherwise pretty average, I think, overall. He's slightly down. He's only rolled 13 combat dice. So yeah, mixed roll. And he gets this crazy roll. Dude, he gets the 1 will. He uses that to get rid of Palantir, but God, it's going to be a slow Fellowship this turn. I start moving this army here. Move down to fold just to take that. It then makes it, if he does decide to come up here, it will slow him down. Moves the elves down. So yeah, the one, I mean, obviously in his situation, you want to be able to move the fellowship, but in the absence of being able to do that, right now, having a load of musters, it's not a bad time to have a load of musters, depending on what I do, because he's going to be able to muster somewhere. So now I decide to go for Old Forest Road. Looking back, what else could I have done? I guess my thinking was I can at least get the elves, Woodland Realm, under siege here in this situation. And maybe wait till the final die to actually attack so that he can't use all his musters to get the elves to war. Let's see. I play a swarm of bats, so I did draw another swarm of bats. That was lucky, which cancelled out the scouts. I get my hit, he gets a hit, kills that guy. And then he passes. Now I play the ring as mine. I presume I'm going to save the character till the final move. I forgot to draw for Witch King, but he lets me take my card. Thank you very much. I draw into Devilry Vorthank. Since I've got this extra Palantir, I think I'll just have a swing at Candles of Corpses. I also roll terribly, so that kind of makes up a little bit for the Ents. You know, that's like half of the bad luck for Ents, I feel, in the kind of the completely imbalanced karma of War of the Ring. He then decides to move the the north to war. So this creates a tricky situation. So what would you do here? You've got one attack. The elves are at war. Do you? Sorry, the north are at war. Do you just attack here? And knowing that you're probably is a very, very good chance that this is just going to go straight into here and be able to massively improve the defenses of the Woodland Realm. I mean, what cards has he got? He's not going to play a Valley, but then he can also play a Shield Wall. So you're probably going to get 2 defense in there. In my case, I can play They Are Terrible, but then I'm only going to be having 2 rerolls anyway. Oopsie, hit my microphone. So I didn't give this a lot of thought. I went for Woodland Realm. Looking back, I think... well, let's think about it. If I'd gone here, he probably would have got at least 2 guys and a leader in here. And then he would have been able to use the final die to get the elves to war. And then, on the first round of next turn, he would have been able to muster in here again. And then he would have been able to muster in here next turn. So you're kind of screwed either way as the shadow here. If you attack here, you're going to buff up Woodland Realm and it's going to be able to muster. Whereas if you go straight for Woodland Realm, this is left on its own and he's going to be able to muster there and make Dale a colossal pain in the dick. So that's what he does. He musters in Dale, which is exactly what I think you should do. It's a smart play. I use this to get the south runs down. Yeah. So let's see what happens on turn 6. It's been quite a quick rush to turn 6. So draw another red tile, plus Raid of the Dunlendings, and he draws Eagles Coming and Through a Day and a Night. I take a toilet break. So this turn, only the 1-eye, and he gets a delicious lots of fellowship movement turn, or, you know, depending on what he wants to use his wills for. So let's see which approach does he. Does he go for a rush with the fellowship, or does he use the wills to do some other more defensive stuff? In my situation, I'm thinking best thing I could do is just take down Woodland Realm in one fell swoop. And then I can defend that? Or do I just nip this in the bud before it gets out of hand? He has potential to muster 3 times in here. If he musters in here 3 times, you could argue that I am properly screwed. It's a tricky one. This is one of those things in this game. I don't know what the right answer is. If you attack Woodland Realm and it goes well, you've kind of got like a full stack to almost a full stack to defend in a stronghold, and then you just make your bed and you say, okay, let's just hold on. And if he attacks, he's then leading himself. He's committing dice. Could go wrong. It's very hard to attack a stronghold with the 3 people due to the lack of leadership. And then I'm putting the ball in his court. But if I attack Woodland Realm and it goes badly, which it can very, very easily do, then not only am I weakening my army, but I'm also giving this a chance to build up. So I mean, what can I even use to attack? I can use Devilry of Orthancs. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So in that instance, maybe we'll see. Let's see what I did. He moves the Fellowship. I've only got 1 die. I decide to go for Dale. And just try to stop this being a mustering point. That's my fear. Fear that this will be able to muster to high hell. But this is a much weaker army. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you attack Dale here, nip it in the bud, or do you just get Woodland Realm and then just get into your little hidey hole and just peek out the doors and intend to never leave again? So, I decide to go for Dale. Use my They Are Terrible. Could I have played a Devilry of Orthanc if the Isengard isn't in the defending army? So I can't use this because... Yeah, so that's maybe an argument for attacking here, because I have 2 good cards to attack into the stronghold. I don't really have any good cards to attack out. And I'm also using my only attack the Fellowship card here. I don't have any good C cards to hurt the Fellowship. So bearing that in mind, this is something that I didn't really think about, is on the basis of what cards you have, maybe that should dictate your decision. Maybe I should have attacked the Woodland Realm simply because I had 2 good cards to take it down. Could have probably, if I'm lucky, only needed 2 rounds of combat between the Devilry of Orthancs to finish it off. And also they're attacking on only two dice against me here, 4 dice. I roll horrendously. And I get 1 hit on the reroll. He rolls well. Now, I'm in trouble. This is not good. This is not good. So yeah, I think that's a little lesson for me there. I think sometimes, even though the imposing threat of the North is concerning, if you're in a nice little stronghold, a nice little safety stronghold, maybe that's not such an issue. I mean, the bigger threat might actually be him taking Dol Guldur, if anything. But anyway, let's see what happens. So I changed casualties, I changed my mind, decided to stick with them. Draw, Warm Sorrow and Toil. I actually I undo a bit too much in these games and accidentally undid something he had done. But anyway, he gets his guy back. I decided to press. I'm like, I've got to just take these guys down. I've got to just finish off these fools. I use Foul Stench to stop the reroll. Heroic Death. So I'm kind of committed at this point. I do get 2 hits. He gets 2 back. But because he has the Heroic Death, he only takes 1 hit. And now it's 3v3. And things are looking pretty bad for the old Shadow up here in the Woodland Realm. I'm feeling a little bit antsy now. And he's still got the big mustering pool. So yeah, I definitely made the wrong decision there. Yeah, that was poor by me. Get the Southrons down, because suddenly, odd Southron fellas, you've got to come to the rescue, boys. You've got to come to the rescue and save the Witch King's fragile little life. So yes, Operation Save the Witch King begins. I also do this to get onto the Fellowship. He attacks Woodland Realm from Dale. Uh-oh. Hard to use defensive cards. I do have, again, now I can use my Devilry of Orthanc because I am in the I'm defending in the stronghold, technically. So Devilry of Orthanc versus Valor. Valor? Oh, God. He only gets the 2 hits, thankfully, which is quite lucky. I get 3 hits back. Okay, so that's handy, but and he decides to stop. No, wait. So he has a decision here. To stop or to press. The smart move is to stop, because if you stop, I can't escape. Then you can use a C die if you want to attack this with this army, and then it's like, if you've got any cards to use, all it takes is a confusion. You could even use the advantageous position just to protect yourself, and you got a great shot at killing the Witch King. You got a great shot. I think stopping's the right thing to do. He thinks, and he decides to press, which moves the Witch King away, and means, I suppose it does conveniently allow him to protect the Woodland Realm a little bit more. And it means I can run away, because I ain't risking nothing with the Witch King. So the only way you could kill me now is to chase me, but then I can run away again if I really need to. So yes, I have to run away the Witch King. Quite a shameful moment for the Witch King. He goes into Woodland Realm, chest all puffed up, thinking he's going to rule the roost like a glorious rooster. And then he is, running away in, is it ignominy? I never know how to pronounce that word. But anyway, yeah, poor Witch King. Witch King running for his life. And he says, better that I stay. Yeah, so in his shoes, I think you stay, and then you kill the Witch King if you're lucky. Put Warmer on the board. Then put in a red tile. I've got these Palantirs, got to use them. He then plays Axe and Bow. I then play another red tile, so getting those red tiles in there, which is nice. He moves the Fellowship, and I hit, which is also nice, and draw 3. Woohoo! Axe and Bow is played. I get to play Warmer and Toil, oh no, just random, sorry. But he had actually just played Axe and Bow, I think, so he'd used up all of his character cards before I could take a random. Probably did that on purpose, knowing I had Warmer and Toil on the board, so Warmer and Toil does nothing, and boo, earns. But with my final die, I attack into Lorien. And I bring the Fellowship with me. Wish you could do that. And I apologise and bring the Wishing back. So again, maybe I should have left. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I should have. No. I think there was no point leaving anyone there, because if you leave anyone there, he's just going to move anyway and declare. So I think it made sense to move everyone into here. Give me a better chance for taking down Lorien in one fell swoop. Okay, so then we move on to turn 7. So pretty slow Fellowship movement, but things aren't looking fantastic on the military front after I've made an absolute pig's ear of the Jew line. Fellowship declared. Probably one turn away from Mordor if he gets a decent roll and decent tiles. He doesn't. Moves the Fellowship once. Safe. I then have all these musters, so I start mustering here. What's he going to do with these Palantirs? I wonder. What could you do? You haven't got anything to do through day and night. Maybe just drawing cards, to be honest. Starts mustering in the Woodland Realm. I decide to attack Lorien. It plays, so Derivon thing gets cancelled out by an advantageous position, so nicely done. I roll terribly, but then get 1 hit on the reroll, 1 hit back, press, play Desperate Battle against nothing, get 3 hits, which is decent, 3 hits back, and then press again, no card, get the 6, he gets 1 back. So, Lorien down. We're up to 5. Things are looking okay. Where'd you get the final victory points, I wonder? At this point, my thinking was, I have Rage of the Dunlendings. I can't take this. This is going to be a nightmare unless I got Corsairs. They can muster here. So my best bet is just to try and, since I've got these armies, just to take down Woodland Realm by hook or by crook, and then get the 4 cities. Because I can get Dale, I can use Raid of the Dunlandings to get the Shire, and I've got this big army to take Peligir. I don't see how else I can really do it, except maybe a surprise attack on Rivendell if the stars align. I wonder if I could have done that this turn, perhaps, given there's no way to muster. Could I have got a decent enough army? 1 muster here. Rage up to... No, I don't really think so. Rage up to there, then another move. No, don't think it would have... Well, if I'd used this muster here, then I could have got it under siege with it, but I think I would have needed these 2 in there. I think then I could have used Hill Trolls on these 2. That would have been quite nice, actually. Maybe that would have worked. But I would have had to have thought of that at the very beginning of the turn, I think. Right. Wisdom of Elrond. Activate... wait. Activate 1 piece. What's going on? Oh, here, drew that card. Right. I start moving. I move these armies here. Knowing that I had Raid the Dunlandings, I should just move them to North Dunland. But I think I did that because I wanted him to think that I was going to go for Rivendell. And then I can rage into here, or it doesn't make a huge difference. But if I got them here, potentially could have saved me a dice roll, a die later, because I could have, mobilized an army into Cardolan. Yeah, so it serves one purpose, but if I go down here, it's clear that I'm going to rage, more likely to rage this way. Whereas if you go there, it scares the opposition into mustering in Rivendell. Draws into Celeborns. That's painful. At least you got a daylight, but that sucks because you just lost Lorien this turn. And then I draw Pits of Mordor. Is there an argument for drawing a character card at this point as Shadow? Maybe that's a consideration. Morgul Wound is not going to slow down the Fellowship. I really don't want the Fellowship to get into Mordor next turn. You could go for a, hope for a Cruel Weather ideally, but maybe any of the tile drawing cards like an Orc Patrol, or whatever, basically Isildur's Bane or something like that. I then attack Dale from the east. No card. Uses and I roll 666. The number of the beast. So overkill there. Not the best time to roll 3 6s, but you can't complain when you get what you need to get. And then so when I said just drew Celeborns 2, I was trying. I hope that didn't across like I was saying, oh, you got a lucky daylight. It was more like it's really unlucky that you drew Celeborns just after I took Lorien. Anyway, so I draw Tommy Bombadil, and then play Pits of Mordor to get some armies up. So yeah, I'm going to need some more armies to take this down, I suspect. And then if I do it here, I can just start moving this army up here and combine, and then bludgeon my way through the Woodland Realm while threatening something up here. So then draw into another. So I'm getting a lot of the forward mustering cards, which is handy. But all of my character cards, apart from that one, considering how many character cards I've drawn, I think I've only had one slow down the Fellowship card. So like that does start to actually add up at some point. Shadow cards character, yeah. So I mean, okay, red tiles. Cans of Corpses did nothing. Okay, so Cans of Corpses could have done some damage. I used Lord of the Ring in combat, and I got 2 red tiles. But you need to draw the red tiles for them to actually be any good. A Grey Company, probably pretty useless, and Thranduils. Okay, so that's nice if I do get this under siege. All right. So I roll a very Palantir heavy turn. Shame that I didn't get. Shame that he used that will. Wisely used the will, because I've had rolled tons of Palantirs since he killed the Palantir of Orthanc. And then he gets comfortably enough dice to get into Mordor. So yeah, if I'd used that Lure of the Ring earlier, maybe if I'd drawn a certain strider. Yeah, so error on my part. Perhaps uses the will to play Thranduils. Interesting. Doesn't want to lose the Will of the West. You've got 2 musters here. What else are you going to use? I guess he's thinking about using the musters to muster in Rivendell? I don't know. Anyway. Not sure I would do that. Suppose it means that you can muster again using this, one of these. But anyway. Get Sprickle Bazaar Ball. I guess suppose you're also giving you the option to cycle cards early in the hand and then play more cards. So yeah, seeing what else you draw into to then perhaps use these to do something nice. Attack Woodland Realm with these boys. Leave one behind. Did I need to leave one behind? I suppose I left one behind thinking that I don't want to, if he musters here, can't just easily walk in. It does make it that little bit harder. But considering I needed to take this down, maybe that would have been smart. But I'm thinking I'm going to get this army up here anyway. And if it does often help just to have one left behind. Moves, misses, so I then move Nazgul. So again, little things like that. I think I had to attack there at the beginning of I don't think I had any choice in the order here, unless I prioritized. I think I had to prioritize the military over getting one reroll on the Fellowship in this instance. So I don't think that was a mistake. But yeah, so I prioritize everyone here, but put one down here. Just move Nazgul. Draw Orcs multiplying again. So I'm getting a lot of cards to do mass musters at once. So I've got all these Palantirs. Might as well do some mustering. But again, could I have been maybe drawing some C cards, hoping for something to especially given he's only got the one move. So maybe what do you prioritize? Do you prioritize just trying to win the game by military, or do you perhaps prioritize trying to slow down the Fellowship just that little bit more? Just that little bit more. Anyway, moves again. Hit, double hit, but it's a 2. It's not a reveal. The hit's good, but I think there's only been just a 1 reveal post. There's been 1 or 2 reveals post Moria. So yeah, that's partly my fault, I think, for not prioritizing that a bit more. Random, Pippin. Pippin goes to Minas Tirith, making that even less appealing. Does he still have Through a Day and a Night? Does have Through a Day and a Night. So if he did decide to, I don't know, defend Pelargir or go up here, it does make it a little bit more appealing. Gives him more mobility to try and take back Helm's Deep, for example. What did I do here? What did I do there? Oh, I decided I was thinking about doing that. I didn't decide to use Hill Trolls to get a big troll here, get a big troll there. Why didn't I just get a big troll there? Why didn't I just get a big troll there? Did I need to? I don't know. Then he starts mustering in Rivendell because he's worried about me charging into Rivendell, understandably. I move this army here. Move this army here. No, I don't. I again change my mind and instead muster an extra elite in Dol Guldur just to make extra sure. Musters again in Rivendell. Then I do the 2 army moves. And then I draw Shadow's Gather. So let's see what I get the next turn. So Shadow's Gather and Dreadful Spells, which is really handy for taking down Woodland Realm. So he gets so on average, I think it's 2.5 turns to get over the line in Mordor. That's what you need to kind of set aside for. But he's still got Strider, and he's got full movement and potentially a ring. So that's not great. That's not great. So the last 2 turns, I mean, to be fair, I imagine it's probably about even because there's been a couple of turns when they've had absolutely nothing. Yeah, so still down on characters. So only net 1 down on. So yeah, definitely can't complain about that. Because there were 2 turns where it was Palantir and Master Heavy. But yeah, getting the C dice when you need them, really, really important. Draws an eye. Oh, so he drew the... I don't know, what's the policy here? If someone accidentally draws, does that count as the tile? Or not? It was an accident, so I drew again. We had a discussion. I just drew another tile, and it was an eye again anyway, so lol. Fellowship revealed. I now have to think. So I think I need to win. Now, seeing this, I need to win the game this turn. I need to win the game this turn. I thought I might have 1 more turn in me, but I don't think I will. So how'd you do it? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So you'll see how it works out. I'm pretty sure I had to calculate this quite quickly, but based on the fact that there's no leadership here, you'll see what happens. I think this is, if anyone wants to pause it and see if there's a better way of doing this, please do, and then send me a comment, and then I will cry. But anyway, so this is how it works out. He hides the fellowship. 6, he says 6 attacks me. Yeah, so first thing I did was get the Mouth of Sauron in, which means I do get that extra attack. And I say probably not enough. I say I hope. So move. So I have to optimize all of the army dice. Pass. Pelegir, no card. Confusion, does nothing. No hits, press. Pelegir down. Up to 7. Fellowship moves. A 1. Nice. Could have really done with a reveal there. Shire, no card. 1 hit back. Stay. I don't get my hit. Get the hit. Shire down. 8 points. 2 dice left. And these guys are 1 away. They're 1 away. They're 1 away. And so I basically, thinking about it, I could have used one of the M's to do Shadows Gather into here. But that would leave me the movement short to attack into here and here. If I'd had one measly little Nazgul in this army or this army, I could have used a attack dice to do the Shadows Gather move, and then use the character die to attack either the Shire or the Pelegir, and then with my final die, attacked into Woodland Realm. Because I was half an army move short because of the way it panned out. Half. And it's so painful. But because of the way it's worked out, I do have a Dreadful Spells. If that goes well, then I've got 1 die to take this down. 1 die to take it down. I say can't get the stupid army inside, no leadership. And I think Drugo Apache realizes, oh nice thinking. Hard choice, decides to move the Fellowship. Obviously there's a lot of eyes in there at this point, and they draw an eye. So that's a bit unlucky. Let's see what the pool's like. And so there are 2 red eyes in there. There's 2 very nice tiles. But yeah, so far it's been what? An eye, a 1, and an eye. So 1 fairly soft eye, 1 quite hard eye. For reveal, Bozza goes out of the Fellowship. Warm Sorin Toil. Kills a tile. Here goes nothing. And now so I pretty much have to win the game with this not particularly sizable army. I can use the Muma Kill. Well, first thing I'll do is I'll use the Deri of Orthanc. Let's see how this goes. So that's just perfect karma for the Ents. You know, the Ent karma is completely, I think, has been balanced out between that and the... Because even the Candles of Corpses, if that had got like 2, for example, suddenly there are 9 corruption here, and it's looking a lot more ominous for for the free people. So yeah, not even a single one. Just one hit there would have really helped. But nope. Yeah, because I think if you downgrade, yeah. So if you downgrade, he still does he have any? Let's have a look at his the force pool. Okay, yes, would have been fine. So I was thinking if I could have gotten down to 4 dice, but no. Fellowship's flipped, and here we go. Here goes nothing. Play Moomakill against charge. Pre gets a hit just to make it even harder. Absolutely nothing for the Moomakill. Oh, I just deleted my own roll there, but it was a bad roll. So I got 1 hit basically. I'm sorry, I accidentally deleted that, but yeah, I got 1 hit. Drugo Apache gets 2 hits. Obviously, I don't get the Moomakill bonus. I have to, and I decide to stop because I don't want to just lose the Witch King. I'm not going to take that down. It's not even possible to take that down, even if I use the Deadly Strife, because there's not enough hits. There's not enough hits that you can possibly do. The only chance would have been something like, yeah, like if I'd had elites with them, we come to kill, but I don't have any elites now. So yeah, could I have started with the we come to kill? Got that extra roll in there, but even then, I mean, he'd already hit me with the pre beforehand, and I need the elites to, yeah, I don't know. So then we go into the next turn. Oh no, so what do I do here? What's going on? Oh, so I attack. Okay, so sorry, I'm getting a bit confused here. I think I have to keep going. I use it there. Terrible. I get another 1 hit, 3 hits back. So once again, this army has become pathetic. And I draw the Did Decide. So this gives me maybe a teeny tiny glint of hope, perhaps. They draw into There Is Another Way, which is handy for the heal, of course. Hide the Fellowship, naturally. Move, it's a 1. So yeah, so been a fairly good run in Mordor. I mean, 2 eyes isn't great, but 1 eye was not too bad. Then 2 1s. But yeah, there were quite a few reveals in there that would have helped a bit more. I don't know. It's not like an absolute cruise in Mordor like you see sometimes. But yeah, I think to give me much of a chance in this situation, I would have needed a red at that point. So yeah, I used the Decide just to give me a kind of a if they do hit the red, then it means can they move twice? Can they afford to move twice? Or at least moving twice might kill them. And I don't need all these dice to win to get over the line militarily, I don't think. They decide to do a sortie from Woodland Realm. Like, oh shit. So for the second time, the Witch King has ended up in this very silly situation where they're in absolutely precarious, dire straits in the Woodland Realm. This time, the elves might actually be able to take him down for good. Play advantageous position. Only gets the 1. Only gets the 1 hit. So that's I think unlucky. I don't know what the odds are there, but I think 2 hits is probably average. Between 6 dice, yeah, I think so. 2 hits back. We have a discussion about that. Advantageous position only works in the combat roll. So yeah, that then allows me to get this army into there. With I don't win. As Aragorn Hobbit needs a red tile. Blah blah blah. Here we go. They move, and it's a 0 reveal. Yeah. So I think it was what the odds were. The odds were definitely in their favour to win at that point. If they had hit an I, they would have only gone up to, so it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 4. So only gone up to 10. So yeah, it's things like, yeah, so obviously I lost the game there. And it's one of those ones where it's good to reflect back. And I knew that as I was playing it, I was rushing a few decisions and being a bit more rash than I probably normally would. Because I think normally when you're playing with someone watching, you want to keep it flowing and keep it entertaining. And I think there were some just crucial moments where I probably rushed, didn't quite think things through. And in a game like War of the Ring, that can cost you so much. So and going over it again has made it abundantly clear. So in my mind, the big mistakes were number 1, not using the only Attack the Fellowship card that I had when I had an opportunity when the Fellowship was revealed where I could have played or at least saved Lure of the Ring. And that guarantees I take one more companion out of the Fellowship. So that alone could have meant that, okay, the 0 would have been fine, but it would have meant that they might have been really reluctant to move here. It would have given the odds of me winning much higher. Eyes would have killed them. And if I'd got Strider, that alone probably wins me the game. So sometimes I think I was a little bit just not really thinking through how valuable. I think maybe I just thought I'll draw into a character card at some point. But yeah, I just wasn't getting any of the tile drawing cards at all really in the whole game. I had lots of Palantirs. Maybe I should try to draw some, you know? Maybe I should try to draw some. When I'm Shadow, I tend to just go hardcore military if I can. And I was half a die away. If I'd had half a die of army move more, I'm like 90% sure I would have won the game. You know, you do see strongholds hold against things like this, but with the cards I had, knowing that the first card I drew into was Deadly Strife and this attack, I think between, like a Deadly Strife, Muma Kill, I could have played Relentless Assault because I didn't end up using Rage of the Dunlendings. I'm sure I would have, I highly suspect I would have got over the line and won the game in Woodland Realm with that big army with a ton of elites in it. So that's one thing I screwed up was the tile drawing. Number 2, I think I screwed up by just being a little bit inefficient with movement. I think there's at least one movement here. I moved an army to Hollin, and then I moved another army from Moria to Hollin. That's the half army move I'm talking about. That's a half army move that cost me the game. If I just moved the army to here, could have probably used one of the Palantirs at some point to get the army over to Cardolan, and then I did want to make it so the Shire didn't know I was coming, because obviously the North are at war. But I'm sure there was a slight inaccuracy around the way I handled this. And what else? And then the other one was not attacking Woodland Realm. I think even though I think sometimes my thinking in these situations, when a free people army is starting to build up and you know that they can muster and make a monster army because the bloody Northern force pool is humongous. If you can just get inside a stronghold, A, you're up 2, so your chance of winning are higher. But B, it then puts the onus. I mean, like, you see it all the time as Shadow, like an army with 12 against 6 can easily lose a Shadow. Bear in mind then also Shadow, free people doesn't really have much in the way of leadership, so they'd have to use tons of musters to get leadership here. It would have really made them focus all of their, and then they have to attack here, then they have to attack, then they have to. I think it would have. Maybe I would have lost it. But given how close I was to losing the Witch King, I think the play was to attack in the Woodland Realm and then just let Dale muster and then try and maybe use the beefy Southern and Eastern army to then just whittle down the army or even just defend the army here. So yeah, played that wrong. Played this slightly wrong and was just a little bit lax on the fellow. And these are things that, like, when I make mistakes in games, I try and note them down and try to remember them so that I don't make them in future. I didn't even think I was going to be playing a game that evening. I thought I was going to be playing a relaxed game over the board, and suddenly it was like, oh shit, so I'm having to play a game online and someone's watching me and trying to make it entertaining. So yeah, I think that did affect my play a little bit. So, but anyway, like Drugo Patch, I think they handled this situation perfectly. They did exactly what you need to do. Mustering up Dale. The only mistake I think really was just not stopping and using that one of those sea dice to attack into here. I think I would have gone for that. But having said that, they used those sea die to get into Mordor. So it worked out anyway. But having said that, I was half an army movement from winning the game. So that chance to take out the Witch King, I think you've got to just gamble on it. You've got to give it. You've got to go for it, because if you can take down the Witch King, no card cycling ability, I would have lost a ton of Nazgul as well as the Witch King. It would have crippled me and probably instantaneously, won in the game. So yeah, that was the big mistake on their part. But they got over the line. So yeah, hopefully this concludes my 2-game series of narrowly losing games as Shadow due to misplays and tanking my Shadow rating. But I thought it was an interesting one nonetheless, with especially the Witch King running away, coming back, almost dying again. So yeah, like Witch King really played with fire this game. But hope that was entertaining for all of you out there. And yeah, I've been losing a lot of games recently, but I'm learning all the time. Hopefully I'll learn from this, and the next video you'll see I'll actually have won a game. So yeah. And yeah, like and subscribe, people. I'm going to be like a classic YouTuber. Like and subscribe. But yeah, I love you. Bye bye.